The title of this podcast is It's Not About You, at least in the way that you think it is. And what that refers to is that when something happens with another person, don't make it about you or your ego. Make it about being able to handle what's going on. This was inspired from a story that I recently told a friend of an event that happened over 20 plus years ago when I was in, maybe 25 years ago, so I was still in my 20s. And it was a great event. I was dating someone. We dated for a couple of months, but we liked each other. We were hitting it off. And, some characteristics about her. She was tall. She was, good looking, all the things that were appealing to me at that time. And I remember calling her within maybe a week or two of us beginning to date. And I didn't think I was like feeling myself in terms of like, hey, you're Keith Jones, like you got it together. But apparently I was because I called her and I got her voicemail. And the voicemail message said, "Hi, this is so and so. I'm not able to take your phone call right now. And if this is Keith, I love you, baby." And that was it. So I leave my message. I got the phone. I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm feeling like, oh man, she's really into me. This is great. She's digging me. And fast forward a few months, we're not hitting it off. We're not really a great fit. We're going in separate directions. We spent some time together. And after the breakup, I found something that she left in my car, or ID or something. I can't remember what it was. But I called her and we just been like within days of breaking up. And so I called her and I got a voicemail. "Hey, this is so and so. I'm not available to take your phone call right now. And if this is David, and my name is not David, I love you, baby." I was like, whew, man, that kind of hit the ego a little bit. I thought like at least, there's still maybe some I love you Keith still on the voicemail message, but there wasn't. She moved on quickly. And I remember like kind of laughing about it and just being like, well played, well played. And so likely there's been a lot of Keiths, Davids, and Lances and Justins and everyone else and shortly thereafter. And she never called me back. She's probably like, let me have him sit with that for a while. And so I always think of that story, many stories like it, when I try to make a situation or what a person does about me, about my ego. It's not about that. And if I were to be bothered by it, if my ego were to be bothered by it, and I was to react based on its inability to handle what was going on, it would always lead to more suffering. I would cause more problems, whether it's in the workplace, in my friendships, or with family. So with the well-being practice, what I've learned to do is that when I feel myself being bothered, do not react. Take a moment to allow things to settle so that your conscious self can come forward and make a different choice. And in this case, I was aback. My mouth was, open. And I mean, I was aghast at what happened just for a second, but I paused. I thought about it and I was like, we didn't really like each other that much. And that was true. We didn't. I wasn't just trying to ease the pain, but we weren't really that into each other. And I just remember thinking, like almost laughing about it, man, that was good. That was a good one. And I let it go and I didn't, feel bruised or have any kind of animosity or ill will toward her. I didn't have a parting shot under my breath or tell other friends about it, other than in a comical way, if I did share it at all. But it brought that up, and I continue to think about when something happens, it's not about me, the me that we normally think of, which is my identity as a person, what I do in my field of work or my career, me as a parent or as a partner. It's got nothing to do with that. What it has to do with is when your mind starts acting up or your heart becomes bothered, can you handle it? And the wise person uses all those instances because you can't stop the mind or heart, forcefully from being bothered. But the more and more that you relax behind those things being bothered, the more and more you will be able to self-regulate and make positive choices, take intelligent action when you are when life shows up with a situation that is not to your liking, and I don't care what it is, it's always better to just remember this is not about you. You're on a pickleball court, somebody does something, and I was on a court one time, somebody made a racial slur. I just remember, like, dude, in the old days, I would have been upset. I would have confronted the person likely. I would have said something to other people. I'm like, dude, let it go. Like, it's not about you. And I was able to let it go. And if it would have happened again, I felt like I needed to have a conversation. I would have had a conversation, and hopefully in a positive way. And if it wasn't well received, I'll let that go too. Like I am not being bothered by things that are with outside of my control, and I'm certainly not going to allow that to be a reason that I close my heart to people, regardless of how they feel about me, or people that look like me. Doesn't matter. So I hope that you will think about this story the minute that you make something about you. And again, it doesn't matter what it is. You have a family member who is ill. it, don't make it about how that impacts you. Make it about how can I support them? How can I do that? If they are nearing the end of life, how can I, comfort them in this moment? Or if they're going through a challenging hardship, how can I be a friend? Make it about that. Make it about that. I have a friend who's going through something very difficult. He is just, returned from some time away, and he's dealing with people likely judging him. I can make it about, well, if I'm with him, they're going to judge me too. Why are you making this about you? If you're a friend, be a friend, not a conditional friend. Be a friend. I am super grateful for all the people that have been unconditionally my friend. And so, again, remember, it's not about you.